So when I got home, she was in the ward that my family was in, and we honestly never met very long. It was little moments of experiences like that kind of added up that gave me enough to later reach out, back to her. Eventually I decided, I was like, I'm just gonna do it. Like I really like this girl. I thought she was an amazing missionary, and I was very impressed with how she carried herself. I wanted to get to know her more.
Once I got home, he reached out to me and we started talking over Messenger, like texting very, very consistently, like every day. And then I kind of hinted that I wanted to video chat, but I didn't want to say that I wanted to video chat. And so I was like, oh, it's really hard to hear about your mission over messages. And so he took the bait and was like, do you want to video call this week?
After a short time, I asked her if I could FaceTime her, and that kind of started, our early, the early building of a relationship. Then we started FaceTiming and talking, and we could talk for hours. Our first conversation we ever had over FaceTime was 2 hours, and that was only a week after I'd reached out to her.
Right from the start, I knew that we could just talk, which is something I love about our relationship, that we can, talk and have fun together for hours over a video call. That's kind of, hard to find.
I decided I have to go see her in person. Otherwise, I was afraid or worried that if I didn't do something quickly, I could, this could fizzle out and I could lose the opportunity.
So about 2 weeks after we started video calling, he asked me if he could come visit me in Idaho and fly out. And I said yes, which was crazy because it was kind of soon, but it was gonna be a little bit later in the summer, the next month. But I mean, props to him, because I definitely didn't have it in me. I had just gone off my mission, I was still kind of fresh, and so I was kind of timid, so good on him for being able to make a bold move, kind of scary.
And I was so impressed. The first thing we did, it was funny, the first thing we did when I flew into Boise is go to the temple. And I thought, this could be a good sign,
The next morning, we went on a hike, and we were up there, and we sat on a rock, kind of like this, and we sat on a rock for 3 hours talking, and we were out of service, so my mom was like, did they get lost up in the mountains? But we were just talking for forever. And kind of deep stuff for the first day being together. But that's kind of when it started to click, where I was like, okay, can talk to him for forever and not get tired of it. And we just loved being together and really enjoyed each other's company.
I felt sad to leave. I knew that, I remember that. And I remembered, I also remembered, looking back when I was walking through the airport doors, and she was still standing there. So I thought, maybe she does care, maybe she maybe she found something good, in me, and maybe this could work out. And so I go back home to Virginia, and I was miserable. The next morning I woke up, and it was like I had lost my best friend.
He went home and we still just kept talking. And I remember right after he went home, he was gonna be driving his car from Virginia to Idaho. And he told me that he was gonna actually stop in Arizona, right before my birthday. And I was gonna be in southern Utah. So I was like, oh my gosh, he could totally come up for my birthday. And I got really excited.
I got this grand idea. I was like, I'm gonna surprise her for her birthday. And I'm kind of bad about surprises. I will do anything to make it worthwhile, which is kind of bad, but it'll also make it really good in the end. And so I totally set it up to kind of drop her a little bit, and then to surprise her. And so I would send her things maybe I'll have time to pass through, or I don't know if I'll make it for your birthday, but maybe I'll make it a couple days after. I'm
trying to think what he said to me, just oh, we might be able to stop in, because he was gonna stay for a couple days in Cedar City. And I was so excited. So when he kind of started backing up, I was like, what the heck? I thought he cared. He was gonna come for my birthday. And so I got super upset that he wasn't coming, just because not even at him, but I just wanted him there.
I met her at the Tropical Smoothie Cafe, and her mom and her sister were with her, and her mom was like telling her, you know, like, cause I was kind of conspiring with her mom a little bit to make this work, and her mom was telling her like, oh, like I pre-ordered it, so they're just gonna bring out our smoothies. And so her mom was like, is that what you ordered? And I come walking out, and she like totally flipped, like she couldn't even get her seatbelt off. It was so funny. And she was so excited that I had actually came for her birthday. And so that's kind of where I was like, okay, I think I'm gonna just go with it. Like I'm totally gonna date her. Like, and so during that trip, I stayed there for a couple days from her birthday, you know, for her birthday and stuff. And we were driving from St. George to Cedar City, and I remember, you know, telling her that I wanted to date her, you know, exclusively, like just her. And she told me no.
Stephanie asked me if I wanted to date because he said that he was interested in me and wanted to, you know, make it more serious. And I told him no. After I'd been like so upset about him not coming for my birthday, even though he was the whole time. And so I had said no just because I couldn't get past, I just started at this new school. It was like my first day of school, and I was like, I'm in this new place, and like, you're far away, like we both should be present where we're at. I was just so nervous that we'd be miserable if we were in a long distance relationship. And that first week, we were like talking, but like trying not to talk as much because of where we kind of left off. And so I got asked out on a date like a couple days later, and I was like, see, this is why, like it's good, like I'm going on dates and like socializing, it's good. And like we were on the phone, and it somehow came out that I was going on a date, and he was like really sad. He's like, already? Like I literally left you 2 days ago. And I was like, oh no. And so I went on this date, but well, actually first my roommate was talking to me, and she had met John when he came down for a couple days, and she even asked me and was like, why are you not dating him? And like took me out to dinner to literally talk about that. And I was like, I don't know. And I was like, I have this date tomorrow, but like I kind of do want to date John. She's like, okay, go on the date. And so I went, and it was like the worst date ever the whole time. I mean, just because I was like, the whole time I was like, I wish this was John. Like I felt sick to my stomach getting in the car with this other guy. Like I was like, oh, this is just wrong. I know with like every fiber of my being that like I shouldn't be here.
She basically gets off this date and like immediately calls me, and I like pick up the phone, and I was like, you know, hello? It was kind of random, you know, she was calling me like just this random time of the day, and she goes, I just got off this date, and I basically decided that like I want to date you. And I was like, all right, that's what I'm talking about.
Being together was such a treasure because we weren't together, and we were like had this virtual relationship. And so when we were together, it was just so special. And I mean, it was hard when we would have to separate, and like it was really emotional. Like I just remember like going back and being like, oh, I hate being in this town like without you, because like I loved Cedar City, but my first week there he came and visited me, and so even like where I lived was kind of associated with him, and I just like longed for him to be there. But I never thought he would actually come. But like just a couple months into dating, he told me that he was really considering moving to Southern Utah. And I was so happy and just really excited. And that's when I kind of started to like really think that we were like gonna get married.
Well, my plan was to propose to her the afternoon of New Year's Eve. I had this whole plan laid out with my family. Like, so before she even got there, like I had my family in the kitchen, and I was like, okay, team, like this needs to be the biggest surprise ever. And we drove to DC, and we went to the Lincoln Memorial.
And he's like, let's go to like the Lincoln Memorial. And I was like, we just saw the Lincoln Memorial. And I was like, why don't we go see like the White House? Like we forgot to go see it. So I was like, let's go see the White House. And he was like, no, because he had everything set up, and we were already kind of late.
While we're walking, you know, she's like, this is such a long walk. Like, well, I don't know why we're going. We've already been here. And I was just like, I just love Lincoln, like so much, you know, like 4 years. Like I started quoting it, like it was complete boat, you know, it was nonsense is what it was. And she blew my plan. she totally laid out everything that had been happening. She's like, wait, are you proposing to me? And I was like, no, like, are you kidding me? I'm not proposing to you. Like, and thankfully, I think she believed me. And so she was like, oh, good, because my hair, like if you propose, and like what I'm wearing, which is so silly because she looked adorable and she was very beautiful that day. But it kind of was, I was like, dang it. And I'm sitting there walking and I'm like, and she just blew my whole plan. She's like, I thought this was happening, and like, because your mom did this and this and this, and like you really wanted to come see the Lincoln Memorial, I thought you were gonna propose.
And I look over and start to walk and I see a photographer and I saw all these pictures and I literally was like, oh my gosh, that's my face on those. Like, I didn't even really click. And then I was like, what the? And I kind of stopped because I was so shocked, and he had to like push me over to the proposal because I was just like so surprised. And I still kind of, I don't remember what he said. And I just remember I started to like jump and smile and like scream. Like, I totally thought I was gonna be a crier. I was a screamer, and I was just like so excited, and we were like hugging, and like he barely got any words out before I was just like hugging him and so excited. And it was like the best surprise ever.
I'll never forget that day. That was the beginning of everything for me. You know, like that was like, I get to be with her, you know, forever. I'm like
150% certain that he's the one for me. Like, I've never been more certain about anything in my entire life. He is everything I've been dreaming about for like my entire life and more. Cannot picture my life without John. And when I think about marrying John and like our life together, I just feel like peace and calm, but also like excitement, because I know that it's gonna be exciting and that he's gonna, you know, push me to, you know, achieve my goals and achieve my dreams. And we have so many dreams together that we're like, you know, building right now. And I just love him, and I think he's the greatest, most handsome, best person in the whole world.
Alisa has never let me down. She's never failed me. She is everything that is pure and innocent in every way. The way that she sees life is the way that I want to see life. The way that she lives the gospel and views the gospel, it's the way that I want to view and live the gospel. I'm happy when I'm with her, and I'm sad when I'm not. I love her, and I want to be with her forever. And I'm grateful that I get to be sealed to her for time and eternity.